Welcome to the Business Miracles Podcast. I'm Heather Dominick, founder of BusinessMiracles.com. Since 2010, I've been training highly sensitive entrepreneurs and leaders from around the globe to work less while making more impact and income by doing things differently. I'm so glad you've joined me. Listen in and get ready for a shift in the way you view yourself, your work, your life. A Business Miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles, episode number 122, Inside Highly Sensitive Leadership with writing and life coach, Melissa Anders. Welcome to this special series of the Business Miracles podcast, Inside Highly Sensitive Leadership, where you'll be hearing real stories from real highly sensitives creating real success. In today's episode, I am just so thrilled to spend some time talking to Business Miracles community member and highly sensitive leader, Melissa Anders. I invite you to listen in as I talk with Melissa and for you to hear how before she joined the highly sensitive leadership training programs for entrepreneurs, she was working in a full-time job, yet aspired to create her own business and longed to find a community that got her. Through the work she's done in the leadership training program, Melissa has created the ultimate both and of working in her job while also being an entrepreneur, allowing her to double her impact and her income. Melissa completed her undergraduate degree in molecular biology and genetics in 1999 and received her Master's of Science in 2002 in the Lab Medicine and Pathobiology Department at University of Toronto. She has been a part of the academic world for more than 20 years and writing, editing, and coaching researchers through the writing process for more than 15 years in her position as a research program manager. She opened her coaching practice in 2018 to expand her reach and has now supported hundreds of academics and academic professionals through speaking, one-on-one coaching, and group coaching. Through their work together, Melissa's private coaching clients feel more connected with their true selves and align their actions with their truth with more ease. As a result, they are more connected to their mind, body, heart, and spirit. This shift in relationship with themselves ripples out into many areas of their lives, including their relationship with others, their relationship with their writing, time, energy, and even money. Melissa is extremely dedicated in all that she does, including how she shows up in the highly sensitive leadership training program. And wow, does it show with the transformation she's been able to create in such a short time. And I know we are just getting started. Melissa, welcome to the Business Miracles podcast and Inside Highly Sensitive Leadership series. I am so looking forward to this conversation today.
Thank you, Heather. I'm so delighted to be here.
Yay! So I always love every Melissa Anders interaction and connection that I get to have with you, whether that's, part of your highly sensitive leadership plus program, times on the forum. And I'm just always so delighted because I just see you showing up for the leadership training, like full steam. You're just really committed and really invested in doing the work. And the transformation I've seen in the time that I've known you has been just amazing. So I'd love to just kind of start this conversation by hearing from you, what would you say has been the biggest shift and change that you've noticed about yourself for yourself since you and I first connected?
Thank you, Heather. So I so appreciate that. And I think the biggest change that I've seen for myself during our time together has really been the power of the ask and being able to do that more visibly and vulnerably.
Yes.
Both in the forum and also in our weekly training sessions and the roundtables. I remember when I first joined the highly sensitive leadership program and I was at the fall training retreat and standing up and literally feeling like my body on fire with that microphone in hand. And it has just shifted so much for me within this community. And as you say, to practice in here so that we can practice out there, and have really seen that, move through into the other areas of my life as well, both in my job, in my business, and at home as well.
Wow. I have chills. I love that you really highlighted that particular piece of transformation, finding your voice, and particularly with asking, because I remember that moment when you stood up at the training retreat and I could feel the energy from you. But I've actually forgotten about that moment. Not that it's completely disappeared, because I'm instantly back at that in-person training retreat when you mention it, but it's disappeared in the way that that's not the Melissa that I know now. And it's not the Melissa that I see, so like beautifully and confidently utilizing the forum, showing up in what we call V&V energy, visibility and vulnerability, asking, really using your voice, during mastermind sessions and on our weekly trainings and roundtables, like you mentioned. And so it's just really so cool to like have that almost like a before and an after, right? And to just be reminded of that. Love that. And I really love that you mentioned also at home, because one of the things that always stands out to me and really strikes me about you as a highly sensitive leader are the little glimpses that I get of you as a mom. And the ways that I've seen you like include your daughters in your leadership training experience. One moment in particular, I think it was part of one of our virtual training retreats, and we were playing music as part of the virtual training retreat, and we were doing power poses, and you had your daughters with you. Oh my gosh. It was like, just like burst my heart into like a gazillion million pieces. So if you're up for it, I'd love to hear just a little bit more about that, because it's not something I really, often have the chance to talk to you about. What have you noticed in terms of highly sensitive leadership as a mother?
Well, that's a big question. I think that what stands out for me the most is how I'm modeling for them.
Yes.
And how that's motivating to me in the choices that I make.
Can you say a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So my sense is that either they're both, so I have two daughters, 7 and 4, and I don't want to speak for them because they're still young, right? But I'm pretty sure my eldest is highly sensitive. And so the more that I can support her to really tap into her sensitivities as strengths, I hear what you tell us all the time in my language. Yes. Use our sensitivities as strengths. Man, am I ever giving her like a leg up on her world, right? Like, and also with my youngest, less clear whether she's highly sensitive or not, but that how to work with someone else who is highly sensitive. So how to work with her elder sister and to support each other is so valuable. And I think too, like just as a fun sideline, like I did an OFTU with them for the summer.
Oh, how fun. How fun. Anyone who's listening in, I'll just interject real quick and say that the OFTU is an order form to the universe, and it's one of the energy management tools that we teach in the highly sensitive leadership training programs to help create clarity. So, oh my gosh, please do tell about the family summer OFTU.
Yeah. So what was really valuable for me was to get, because I had all these expectations about what they might want, right? We're coming out, like sort of coming out of COVID, all of the things. And it was just so simple, right? Like, I want to go swimming. I want to ride my bike. I want to see grandparents. And like, that was it pretty much, right? Like really. And then we built, climb trees, which we did already. So, and it's also just been like, just then watching for all of those things to appear for us, right?
Yes.
And acknowledging like the connection between setting in our intention and then seeing it in the world for ourselves. And they love it, right? Because they're just, it's so accessible for them. It's so easy for them to just see how it's all connected.
Oh my gosh.
Super amazing. Fun. Yeah. So it was helpful to get the clarity and set expectations and manage expectations. And then also to just like see it unfold. It's been super fun as well.
Brilliant. So brilliant. Oh my gosh. It just makes me so happy to hear this. I just love it so much. I love it because, you know, the work that we do in the training programs is absolutely about how to show up as a highly sensitive who is a leader within their business, right? So marketing, selling, operations, or whether it's also career. But who we are as highly sensitives is we are holistic, you know, and one area impacts another. And when we're untrained, what I so often see is family life really negatively impacting what a highly sensitive is looking to create for themselves in business or other areas because it's mismanaged, right? So there's kind of like an overflow of energy, usually a sense of that over responsibility, et cetera. And then it, you know, ends up creating overwhelm and a lot of confusion for highly sensitives when it comes to what they're, again, wanting to create in business or other areas. But yay, what a flip of the switch and what you just shared and how the intention of the leadership training is the positive impact in all aspects of our life. So first of all, what a gift to your children, what a gift to your daughters, and not just for the summer, but as you said, you know, being able to have this frame for a longer, you know, almost lifetime positive impact. It's beautiful. And I give you such credit for really seeing that, right? And taking some of the tools from the program and using them, you know, in alternative ways. That just really shows, again, you know, your astuteness and, you know, ability to really show up in full commitment to the work. It's wonderful, really beautiful. And so along those lines, then, you know, in the ways that you're able to show up as a leader, as mother, how have you also then seen the commitment, again, that you really demonstrate within the training program have an impact for you as leader within your business? Is there perhaps maybe one, you know, peak transformation or shift that comes to mind for you?
Yes. So many, but what's coming to mind for me is at the end of last year, and we had a series of private mentor calls sort of leading up. And it was also the shift actually when we shifted into the HSL plus, the plus program.
Yes.
And I just remember being on the forum in connection with you and having, because this is kind of the thing that happens to me is I have, or for me, I should say, but I have an influx of ideas and then I get confused by what the direction is going to be. And then I get stuck and I can stay stuck for a really long time, which is basically me like pre-connecting with this program and was literally stuck there for years. journaling about all my ideas.
Yes,
my husband
going, others listening can totally relate.
My husband going, what's this piece of paper with all of these ideas on it? And in connection with you over the forum, sharing some of these ideas, you taking me through a series of questions all over the forum to discern my direction, what the direction I was meant to take. And then supporting me with clear next steps, all based on what I'd received and then through our interaction, and then taking those forward and then following through on them. And that was all around creating monthly offers for my clients and other connections, marketing those, learning how to market those, and also connecting with institutions to bring forward opportunities for them to really have an innovative approach to coaching and mentoring researchers. And now results are received clients through that process of monthly offer making, and also have received 2 institutional client contracts as a result.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's just, and I remember saying to you on the forum, is this how this works? Yes, this is how this works.
Yes, this is how this works. I really appreciate that you brought that up as well. First of all, the confusion, right? And the journal upon journal upon journal filled with idea upon idea upon idea. Again, like I said, I have a feeling we have some resonance happening with those who are listening. That's very, very common for us as highly sensitives. We have that strength of visionary, but then when it comes to breaking it down into the doable steps, that's really where we get caught in that confusion. But I really appreciate that you brought up the forum, because, one of the things that I hear from highly sensitives who are considering the leadership training program or just starting out, there's such a resistance to the forum. And people confuse it with social media, which our forum is totally private, totally secure, not like social media at all. And also there can be this tendency to kind of be locked into what I refer to as antiquated coaching, where it's everything has to come from a one-on-one call. But what I find is that as highly sensitives, we actually work really well on the forum because we, tend to be excellent with language. That's one of our strengths. And there's an acceleration. There's actually a speed that can occur via the forum, but in a way that's safe, right? Because it's captured. So you can always go back and re-reference it, right? It's not like it all has to happen on this one coaching call that only happens every other week or once a month or something. The conversation gets to be ongoing. And again, it's all captured where you can reference back to. And I remember that exchange because I just mapped out the steps for you.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I was here's step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then it was boom, there it is. And then like you said, then it was just about implementing and following those, and we could stay in ongoing conversation. But that was the way you were able to create everything that you just listed out in a short amount of time. I mean, at the time that we're recording this, that wasn't even a year ago.
No, it was 6 months ago.
Yeah. I mean, really incredible. So I love that you brought that up, and I love that you could see that, in that way. So you just have listed out all of these amazing things that you've created in the last 6 months, which has just been so fun for me to be a part of and to be able to see you in this focused creation mode. So what's next for Melissa Anders now?
So in that creation mode this summer, I've shared writing as a transformational process.
Yes.
And I'm just so excited about this. And that was also a result of our connection through a private mentor call. So it's really an innovative approach to writing and really creating the most out of the writing process, not just to move through blocks, but also to change as a result of understanding what's happening for you while you're writing, why it's hard for you. And so what I'm really excited about is the next step associated with that, which is going to be a group program offer using that as a training. And I'll be opening that up to my clients and beyond. And I'm super, super excited about it because who I shared it with so far have just been amazed at sort of solidifying everything that they've learned through our work together already in this new way. And I'm just really excited to be able to keep that moving versus it just being this thing that is sitting in a journal somewhere.
Yes. So cool. Yes. As I was listening to you, I just kept getting the image of like off the journal page.
Yeah, it's incredible, quite honestly, like what the difference is for me in being in this program.
Can you language that a little bit? Is there words for that?
Well, I quite literally, like I could show you a picture of all of my journals sitting here on my bookshelf. And it's not that I've given it up, right? Like I still do it, but it's directed. It's not, and it's guided. I'm not ruminating. And I'm also not beating myself up because I haven't done it. Right. I'm doing it. I'm sharing it and bringing it into the world, which is where it's meant to be. It's not meant to be in my journal. Yeah, it's meant to be shared. So
exciting. It's really so exciting. And also, I think what's super cool that I really want to highlight here, especially around like what you're just sharing about what's next with the group program, is you were willing to take my mentoring and direction for the first iteration, right? To just focus on kind of like the first quote unquote like pilot program piece without having to know like where this is going to go, right? Like where is the ultimate that this is going to go or grow into? But you were willing to just take that first step, and that first step of the group program came together like pretty easily. I think you referred to it as a series. And then through that experience, we were then able to move to the next step of this group program, which you just beautifully described, but so much more easily because you were willing to be in that kind of phase by phase, step by step process versus the needing to know it all before any action is taken. So I think that's really valuable to highlight too, because that's the direct opposite of overwhelm, right? Which is like one of our ultimate shadows as highly sensitives. And I think even at one point, I remember you saying like, wait, this is like too easy, like, or something along those lines.
Probably. Yeah, I think I mean, I certainly, what was interesting about doing that work was there were moments of overwhelm and then just realizing, connecting in and reminding myself like this, I really want to do this, right? And connecting in with that. And also the I am statement that you also teach about, and mine for this year is I am expanding. So with that will come change, and just reminding myself of all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just super fun. And I think part of the reason it was super fun was because I didn't have to have it all figured out.
Yes. And you didn't have to have it all on your own shoulders, right? Like have our connection, your HSL++ members, the community, et cetera, et cetera. So
it's like painting a picture without knowing who the buyer's going to be.
Oh gosh, that's beautiful. Yeah. So well said.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone who's listening, who maybe really is caught, deeply in that highly sensitive overwhelm right now, and they're listening and just kind of can't even conceive of how it could be different for them?
Well, I think just reflecting what you just said is that it's being willing to take that first step, whatever that first step looks like for them right now, which might be, a clarity call with a coach or whatever that is. But that, I think too, what I would say is if you're feeling like if you have the desire to go forward, there's a reason for that. Like you're not meant to be living in overwhelm. You're not meant to be living in the confusion.
Yes. That's right.
And so focus more on that, on what that desire is, and practice that so that you can take that next step. Because there's always going to be the thing that's going to hold you back. It's so much easier to listen to that than it is to listen to whatever that voice is that's pulling you forward.
Yeah. So talk to someone so you're not stuck in that place. For sure. So beautiful. Well, as always, Melissa, just such a joy to connect with you. And it's so exciting, everything that you're creating. And I am just beyond confident when we connect. I mean, we're going to connect a million times, but when it's this time next year, it's going to be this really beautiful, exciting place that is way beyond even what the imagination can conceive of right now. So I'm super excited to be a part of it with all of you. Thank you for sharing on today's podcast and for all the ways that you show up as a highly sensitive leader. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Heather.
All right, beautiful. And thank you for listening. Until next time. Thank you for being a part of this Business Miracles podcast episode and for beginning to dip your toe into the journey of highly sensitive leadership training. If you are ready to truly use your sensitivities as strengths in all parts of your work and life, I invite you to connect for a one-on-one chat. You will experience being deeply listened to, and together we'll get a sense of whether the highly sensitive leadership training programs are the best next step for you and your highly sensitive journey at this time. Just go to www.claritycall.com to schedule a conversation. We so look forward to connecting with you. Talk to you soon.